Greetings, dear soul. Thank you for joining me for Cosmic Couples Counseling Addendum. Today I'm going to explain to you the process, how it all works. There's a few things you need to know first. And my favorite part about this whole thing is that the Divine Mayan Tzolk'in calendar actually came from the Pleiades, which you can learn all about by watching this video right here. Additionally, Barbara Hand Clow says that the Tzolk'in itself, which is the Mayan calendar, she says this thing right here, which is the Mayan calendar called the Tzolk'in, she says it's also a ninth dimensional entity that created history, as we like to call it, and the Tzolk'in as an outpicturing of cosmic DNA. That's my own DJ Crispy remix. This is definitely related to DNA, right? I think you know that. Yeah, I printed it all over my room so I would never forget. All right, so this truly is cosmic. The ninth dimension does not stop at planet Earth or even the Milky Way galaxy, okay? It's everywhere and everywhen. Additionally, Barbara Marciniak says that the original Maya are ninth dimensional collective consciousness entities that can enter into a culture. By being born into it, their souls will enter a culture that way and plant seeds, as it were, and then they can leave the culture when those seeds are planted. And you can learn about that in this video right here. So again, sure, cosmic and galactic, but you know what? We're really talking about you two, right here on planet Earth, here and now. Doing your best, trying to connect with that one person in a more harmonious way. That is the Hunab, right? Just to give you another glimpse, you know I painted that, right? Yeah, good. Okay. This is my life. This happened to me. Mayan embodiment happened to me as a direct download where I viscerally felt my right hand being tightly gripped and my left hand being gently caressed, and I saw myself inside that wheel of 20. Now, that was about 8 years ago, 2017, I want to say. Yeah. It's so funny that I wasn't following the Tzolk'in every day at that point. I was very aware of it. I had the tattoos of my Mayan birthday and the Hunab back in 98, 99, 2001, and 2002. I think I got all these. So they've been a part of my life, and they will be a part of my life until the day I die, and maybe much longer afterwards. But it was only after the deep download, the visceral vision, that things really began to unfold, not surprisingly. And now I have such a clear vision for what this represents for couples, for actually any two people. I've done readings for parent and child, and those readings bring out a much closer connection between any two people, but it's really the couples. And, you know, where we're at in our progress of evolution, we need to fully embrace the starseeds and the twin flames and the soulmate couples who are trying to do their best and maybe not quite having clarity of how to do that. And that's where this system clears things up clearly with great clarity. There's no doubt with this system, okay? It's so obvious. Now, the other thing that's extremely important is humanity is finally ready to acknowledge that every single person has divine masculine and divine feminine qualities in equal proportions. Okay? And that's, again, what the Hunab represents, is the divine feminine and divine masculine. All right? The divine feminine is the black womb of no thing. And the divine masculine is the white shooting out energy going out. Okay? Okay? The light. And you can't have one without the other. You can't have light without darkness, nor the opposite. Like, they're perfect together. And that's what we're doing here, is transcending duality and harmonizing them. We're embracing our dark and our light. We have been terrified of our light for thousands of years, and we've pretended, oh, we're not a nice people, we're mean and we're bad, and oh, we're sinners. Ooh, yeah. So it's just a game we've been playing, you know, the farces of dorkness, the dork farces, as we Pleiadians like to refer to the Darktilians. The Darktilian farces of dorkness came in and infiltrated our happy little world and gave us concepts like original sin and eternal damnation in hell. Yeah. And we ate it up. Oh boy. Yum, yum, yum. But for thousands of years, we acted as though that were completely true. And a lot of people still do. But there have been many things breaking through that age-old idea. And it all is, everything is consciousness. Everything is the evolution of consciousness. Okay, so the dark t-shirts, the Darktilians, the farces of darkness were completely necessary. They're all one. Everything is one thing. We are one thing. You are one thing, and your partner is one thing. But I can show you how to blend your one thingness in new ways that are cosmic and galactic and Pleiadian and Gaian, okay? Even if you don't believe in the Pleiadians and the Syrians and the Arcturians and all that, you don't necessarily need to at all. You can just say, yeah, it's the Mayan calendar from Mexico, and be completely true and real and validated about that. But we also know that, as I mentioned. So, what you need to understand is there are many, many patterns within this system that reveal things about your relationship. First of all, to yourself. And when I do a couples counseling, we start with the two individuals. I do an individual reading, so I will create a document like this for you, and things like this, and describe. I like to call it soul-splaining, exactly what each of these means. Okay? I do a ceremony right here. And I ask for permission from my higher self to connect with your higher self, and for your higher self to tell me how I can heal you through the divine Mayan Zolkin, as revealed by Mayan embodiment. Individually, I do that, one person and one person. And then I prepare that document and I send you those documents. On my website, check here, there's a pretty intense list of questions that are optional. I can do this 100% on my intuition. And yet, with your initial feedback, your answers to these questions, we are going to go much deeper, of course. So individually, you each get a document that, for each position, your core self, that's you, standing right here, this is me, okay? Maybe it's you too, wow. I create 3 high vibration code phrases based on blending the key code words for the glyph and the tone, the tonal and the nahual. Now, each glyph and each tone has about 13, let's say on average, key code words. And if you picture each one of those as being like a thread, then those 13 threads weave together to make a fabric of your core self. And I find, through your feedback or through my own intuition, I find 3 high vibration code phrases for you, for your core self. And then also one for each of the positions. We all have those 4 guiding positions. So you can think of these threads all coming together and joining into making you who you are. All right? And that's my task here on this planet. I call it Soul Cartography. This is the message your soul came in with, all right? This is what the plan was. This is the plan you had. The part of you that is Pleiadian. Now, you got to remember here, my soul, my dear soul sisters and bro stars, your soul is eternal. That's a long time. You have had countless lifetimes on every planet, and or you will have countless lifetimes on every planet. If you don't remember your Pleiadian lives this time, that's fine. You might later in this lifetime remember them, and it's quite possible that this reading I give you helps trigger those memories. All right, so your Pleiadian soul cartography is contained. Now I give you those 2 separate documents, and each person, let me just share my screen here. even if I do just a single reading for one person, everyone gets the work booklet, which right now is 60 pages. It's a full calendar, all right, for one whole year plus one extra month. So it's 13 moons, as it were. And then you get every single key code word for every glyph and every tone, of course. And then all of the other patterns are revealed to you. I want everyone to be the maximum empowered with Mayan information as possible. That is my goal. So all of the patterns are revealed. And really, honestly, even if I just do a reading for one person, they would then be able to have such a high degree of understanding of other people that they could do quite a good job of figuring things out for themselves, in combination with all of my videos here on this channel. All right, now, one important part of this document is how to combine any two people. Now, the most amazing thing about the Mayan astrology, because as you may or may not know, this really has nothing to do with stars or planets or anything. It's not astrology as far as the word goes. So we just call it that because of the meanings. But this one page tells you exactly how to combine two people. The most amazing thing about this is you can combine two people, which, as I said, you combine two people and you get a third spiritual entity or a spiritual baby. Now, what that creates is a whole other entity which represents your relationship. You have two people. Maybe at first they're all, in that fiery, exciting honeymoon stage, no matter what happens to your relationship. And then after a while, especially if you're together for a couple of years, especially if you get married, you have children, you might buy a house or even whatever, just all of your stuff together, everything you create together is the relationship that is seen through the spiritual baby energy of combining two people. That represents the relationship. So then we've got how person A relates to the relationship and how person B relates to the relationship. Okay? That's what I soul-splain very well. So you will get a third document soul-splaining that. Now, back to the individual readings. In the work booklet, there is a segment that is very powerful, obviously called shadow ego work. Now, just backing up, each glyph and each tone has a dark side. Tone 13 here, misanthropy, spiritual denial and hopelessness. And the first glyph, unpredictability, self-sabotage, and rage. So those would be for that person as their core self challenges, okay? And what I help my clients do is go through this process of shadow ego work. The first step is creating your own personal low vibration phrase. Now, as I've said, I create 15, 3 for each position. and I teach you. I usually do one for you of a low vibration phrase. If you wish me to, I will do them for each of the 5 positions. I really think it's important for you to do this for yourself. I show you examples, and every one of my readings comes with one Zoom for an individual personal reading. It's usually 2 hours. I don't put a time limit on it. And then if I do cosmic couples counseling for you, it includes 4 Zooms, which I intend to be weekly. And that means you're doing work in between. And I give you specific things to do in these weeks, okay? I'm going to give you 3 extra sets of documents with questions and tasks, all right? So back to the individual activity. You do this process of shadow ego work. There are just 3 simple questions, but it could keep you busy for many hours of journaling, all right? And then, yes, the whole thing is based on forgiveness, self-forgiveness. You know, now that we have matured into what I like to call the post-law of attraction reality, where we accept that we attract every single thing to ourselves, all the good and all the bad. It's just me, you, me, attracting everything to me, you, okay? You have to forgive yourself and, of course, the other. And there's a very clear process for doing that in the work booklet, all right? The astute among my clients actually realize that this is the crux, the peak of what I teach. This happened to me on a very specific day that was called manifesting forgiveness, as it were. That's one name you could call the Mayan day, on the day that this experience happened to me. So that's the initial process you each must go through on your own, is doing that shadow ego work for your core self, all right? Now, my instructions for you begin after you do that. So initially, I create those 3 documents, send them all to you, and we have our first Zoom, and we talk about this shadow ego work. Then you need to do the shadow ego work in here. Then we meet here. Then I give you instructions for what to do before our 3rd Zoom, okay? And here is where we begin to weave together the 2 of your soul cartographies in a way that does not exist anywhere else on the planet, all right? I'm absolutely, completely, 100% cosmically honest. Universal truth right here. There's nothing else like this on the planet, okay? It came through me. Whew, I'm giving it to you. I'm just saying, if you want the tightest weave of fabrics, this is it. Additionally, I will say this. If you find that through this process, you and the other person are not harmonious, then it's time to say goodbye, and I will help you through that process. You know, we are also beyond the reactionary and we call it cosmic decoupling, or conscious decoupling. I also like to call it quantum disentanglement, because we will always be connected, even if we break up. And we want to break up on very respectful terms. This will help you do that, if that is your path, to disentangle yourselves. But I tend to think if you go through this together, it will weave that cloth. I have created a special series. I'm just going to share my screen here again. A very special set of questions and activities, explanations. There's a much deeper explanation here that we will also go through together on Zoom. And in between these Zoom meetings, you have work to do, my friends, together and separately. You're going to help each other create high vibration code phrases for the core self and divine masculine and divine feminine of your spiritual baby. Ooh, there, I just said it. That's, wow, that's it. That's it. The secret is out. You have to go through your own shadow ego work for your own core self. And listen, my friend, if you are having trouble manifesting through your divine masculine, then you need to go through the shadow ego work for your divine masculine guide, because every single glyph and tone has dark energy. If you cannot manifest, if you're having trouble with your yang, your outer face, you need to do the shadow ego work for this. The past, oh my goodness, I think it's almost cliche that says most of our problems happen in our childhood. I mean, it's not cliche, it's a cosmic truth. Everything, all of our triggers start in childhood. So why would you not do the shadow ego work for your past, all right? Your divine feminine, your future vision. I give you all of these tools, and if you don't use them, no problem. That's fine. You can do it later. You can do it a year from now. I'm not going to force you to do anything. I provide it all for you. And in those 4 Zooms, that's included in the price that you choose to pay. Whoa, dude. Oh my goodness, I'm getting those. Whoa, like, can you feel what's happening here? That's what's happening here. It's so beautiful. I am here for you. And, bigger picture. Again, service to other in a very spiritual way is also service to self. Now, a quick word needs to be said about the twin flame phenomenon. As you can see in numerous of my videos, there's a lot of misinformation and disinformation about the whole experience. And I think a lot of the people in the twin flame movement do have your best interest at heart. and a lot do not. They want you to have drama. They want you to have the runner-chaser thing go on and on and on with as many people as possible. They want you to break up and then find another one, and they want you to wonder and question and doubt. All of that is the shadow ego, okay? If you are ready to cut through the crap, if you are ready to drop the drama, then you are ready for what I can teach you to find out about yourselves. I will not do it for you. You do it with each other, okay? On another level, the Maya have said, in Lak'esh alakin, for thousands of years, which means I am another you, you are another me, we are one God-sciousness. And of course then there's Namaste, the soul in me acknowledges the soul in you. But in Lak'esh alakin is on a much higher level of oneness. So this is part of the truth of all twin flames. We all come from the same source, but the concept that one soul split into two and then wandered around the universe for 1 billion years, or 13 billion, and then finally found each other because it was half a soul, and got born into this body as half a soul and then found the other half of itself. No. Impossible. That would also mean that there would have to be half of a body. Physically, just the legs walking around. Or just this half of a body, because the cosmic truth in as above, so below, as within, so without, as in me, so in you, means that as in the spiritual, so in the physical. So if there were the possibility of a soul splitting into two halves, so this was one half a soul and this is the other half a soul, that would necessarily mean that a physical body was walking around half of a body, okay? It's a complete false light teaching. No. All right? You are whole, complete yourself. And guess what? We all have traumas. That's why I was saying it might be this shadow ego work of your past wisdom guide that unlocks everything for you, okay? Even if you just come to me as an individual one person, going through this process with me will heal you so much that you will no longer attract to you these, the drama just drops away. You will be so much stronger in your core self. That you will not have those types of relationships. They won't happen anymore for you. You'll just transcend them. You will heal the own leaks in your own aura. And I also just quickly need to say that Mayan embodiment is the only teachings in the Mayan world that includes the chakras, speaking of your aura. So yes, keep that in mind as well. So, as you can see, there are cosmic, galactic, and Pleiadian connections that are on a very deep level. And I invite you to join me in that perspective. It's fun. It's a way of being in this cray, effed up world and far above, not of it. Your soul is eternal. Your soul is from the stars. Even your DNA is from the stars, okay? Your body is from other planets. And it's made of the elements of this earth, as following out the encoded instructions within the DNA. So there it is. I'm here for you. I'm waiting for you. I already love you both unconditionally. And I'm here to help you raise your vibration to that level for yourselves. In Lak'esh, Alakim, Namaste.